Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for our Mocha Moments. Good evening, Jackie and Terkazam and A88. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. I'm just going to say A88. Good evening to you, Pam. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Pat. Toya is in the house. Good evening to you. Thanks for throwing up that hashtag. So glad you all have joined us here tonight. Lachelle, thank you for joining us. This is going to be another somewhat brief Mocha Moments tonight, but I'm delighted that you are on here with us tonight. Those of you that are just now connecting, I see you all are doing all right with this thing. Ann and Shell, good evening. We ask it as you come on. If you're part of the Mocha crew, the Mocha community, throw up that hashtag Mocha Crew. Let us know that you are with us. Yeah, I want everybody that comes on here to become a part of our community. Well, what's our community all about? I'm always talking about doing whatever I can to add value to the lives of other people. And those in our Mocha community, in our Mocha crew, they do the same thing. I've got a group of people that believe in doing whatever they can to add value to other people. That simply means to be a blessing to someone else and make their lives a little better than it is right now. You never know whose life you can be touched by just spreading a little cheer and spreading a little love. Hey, what's up, sis? AD Proctor, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks for throwing up that hashtag Mocha Crew. Denise, bless you. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Those of you that are peeping in and haven't checked in just yet, I want you to know what this is really all about. People know me as pastor, bishop, and all that. But tonight I'm here in the capacity of Dr. Tony D. Cobbins, life coach, the proprietor of Shepherd One Coaching and Shepherd One Enterprises. And I'm here to meet whatever coaching needs that you may have. MK, good evening to you. Thank you for throwing up that hashtag. Appreciate you tonight. I trust and pray. I hope that you all have been having a wonderful, wonderful day on today. As a matter of fact, we're wrapping up this week, this work week. I know some of you are extremely happy about that. You've already got plans for tomorrow and even the weekend. And since I'm mentioning the weekend, let me say this. One of the reasons why I'm going to make this Mocha Moment somewhat brief tonight is because immediately after getting off here tonight, Lady Ann and myself, we're going to hang out with Young Nation, with our young people. This is their retreat weekend, and we're going to go and hang out with the young people tonight. I'm feeling mighty young. But no, we love our young people, and this weekend is focused on our youth. As a matter of fact, Sunday is Youth Sunday at Canaan Worship Center. And listen, please, all my adults, especially those of you that are part of our crew, the Mocha crew, please don't stay home Sunday. Come ready to participate. These young they've got some good stuff for us this coming Sunday. They're going to be actually in charge of our entire worship experience this coming Sunday morning, and we want to fill up the house. I want you all to pass the word. Encourage everybody that you can. If you've never been able to get anybody else to come to church with you on any other Sunday, do everything you can to get somebody to come to church with you this coming Sunday. Even if it's some young teenager or even a child, there's going to be something in the house for everybody. And again, we have a dynamic young speaker that's going to be preaching this coming Sunday. I'm telling you, this young man is absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited and anticipating a great Sunday on this coming Sunday morning at Canaan Worship Center. Now, I didn't get on here to make announcements about Canaan, of course, but since I am the senior pastor of Canaan, every now and then I got to throw in a little something. I want to especially give a shout out to my Young Nation peeps. All right, that's okay with you all because y'all know me. Bishop loves the children. I love the young people. One of the reasons why I take such a great interest in young people is because, hey, believe it or not, there was a time I was young myself. And it was during my teenage years, my most formidable years, that I developed into becoming the person that I am today. And it was because there were people who took special interest in me, in my life, and they poured into me, and they loved me and supported me. And I want to be able to do that same thing for our young people. I know there's people that's connected on here right now. You have the same story. There's somebody in your past that you can think of right now, and they may be still in your life, who spoke into your life when you was a very young person, hadn't quite entered into adulthood, but you were on your way, and you had just that one person, that one voice that could speak into you and make all the difference in the world. Cassandra, thank you for joining us, and hello to you this evening. Well, with that being said, I don't want to prolong the time. I don't want to be too long because I got to get to my young people. Tonight. Again, this topic tonight is for people who's tired of the status quo. People who just kind of feel a little stuck in life, and believe you me, it's okay to be there. I've been there, believe it or not, with as much movement as I've had in my life. And my life has been, for the most part, constantly progressive. And I'm always progressing because, number one, I'm looking to constantly progress. But there have been times that, I felt stuck, and that's not a good feeling. When you're a person that's constantly on the move, constantly achieving things, having things being done, you're making things happen in your life. When you have that kind of motivation and you get to a place in your life where it seems as though you've hit a brick wall, you seem to be stuck, that's not a good feeling at all. And so tonight, I just want to throw this out at you. Why not shake things up in your life and make some much needed changes? Plain and simple. Why not just shake things up? If things aren't what you want them to be right now, if you're presently not where you want to be, then maybe you should just shake some things up. Not many years ago, I did come upon one of those times in our ministry where I was convinced that we needed to make some changes with regards to our leadership team. And initially, I was very hesitant about making the proposed changes, but the changes were very much needed. I couldn't deny it. When I began to look around the ministry, it was one of those times again wherein I just felt like we were stuck as a ministry. As a matter of fact, the way I would describe it, I would say that the ministry had become stagnant. The atmosphere had become stale, and I sensed a need to develop and identify new young leaders within our ministry. Yeah, that's what I sensed in myself. And honestly, I sense the Spirit of the Lord telling me and instructing me to identify and start to develop some new young leaders. And for me, I think in my estimation, um, I think sometimes our young people feel pushed to the side, and as bad as they may want to become entrenched and involved in things, they may not feel as comfortable as they should getting involved because at times older generations are not as welcoming and inviting as we should be. You know, I'm including myself in that because regardless as to what my um, convictions are, we're all in this together. Our generation, my generation, even those who came before the preceding generation, the one that preceded my generation. We haven't always done the best job with being embracing of young people and making them feel welcomed to the degree that they are confident that we want to see them develop and that we're willing to do all that we can to help develop them, not just as people, but as leaders who can make a positive and an indelible mark upon society. And so again, I felt this sense and this need to identify and develop new and younger leaders. And so eventually we started the process of shaking things up. Now, despite my hesitancy, I move cautiously and I move very strategically because that's very important. Anytime that you're going to shake some things up, anytime you're proposing to make any kind of changes, whether it's just in your individual personal life or if you are a leader and responsible for leading a group or an organization, anytime you get ready to make any changes, I just feel like you have to do it very cautiously and strategically. And so this is the way I cautiously and strategically move. I cast and conveyed my vision. And then I stated my reasons for wanting to shake things up. I shared my intentions and my expected outcome, which I believe would be most beneficial to the ministry overall, as well as to everyone working on the leadership team. You know, um, I was very, very, very intentional. I even thought I had set some groundwork, uh, preparing. our entire leadership group, not just the primary leadership team, but I thought I did the proper groundwork for preparing the entire group of leaders to receive and accept and buy into the vision that I was casting and conveying. But once we got the train of transition in motion, it just seems like the wheels just fell off. They just seemed to just fall. Everything seemed to be collapsing all around us. So what did that look like? Well, some of the serving leaders felt threatened, and that's never a good thing. Despite me trying to reassure them that this was not a threat to the position that they were serving in, but in developing new leaders, I was hoping, and my intent was to further develop other leaders, the ones who were already in leadership. That's the best way to say that. And one of the things that I kept stressing to my leadership team at the time was that we need to be cross-trained in one another's departments so that if ever came a time where someone needed some help with something because they may not have the manpower or be short of whatever manpower that they were needing at any given time, then all of us would know a little bit about just about every department within the ministry, at least enough to go in and offer our assistance to the leader of a particular ministry and say, hey, is there anything that I can help you with? And because we would be cross-trained and even now have experience working in a multiplicity of ministries, then it wouldn't be very difficult for us to be able to help one another in our times of need. And one of the reasons why I had that kind of conviction that I wanted to see that done is because when I was coming up in ministry, I literally learned to do just about any and everything there was in ministry. I have served in so many different capacities in ministry, and with each and every position that I served in, I learned something that not only helped me to develop as a person and a leader, but it allowed me to be able to lend myself in areas where I saw that help was needed, or where someone would ask me if I wouldn't mind helping them to get something done. But again, some of the leaders felt threatened, and some of them just outright rebelled. They just rebelled against the whole process. They didn't like it. They wasn't having it. And one of the ways they rebelled, some people have a way of being passive aggressive with their rebellion. And they may not have been as blatant right in my face with their rebellion, but some things were soft pedaled behind my back. And that's another reason why some of y'all need to read my book. Get the book. I'm not just a pastor, but I'm a person. Get it, read it. It'll enlighten you on some things. Those who were being identified as potential leaders at that time didn't want the heat and the backlash from those who felt they were being replaced. And you can kind of understand that people that are coming in new, if they feel as though them accepting a position, or, you know, when they're asked to do something, is going to step on someone else's toes, my experience has been people will back up with a quickness, you know. And you all can tell me if you all think that I'm kind of off base here, but it has always baffled me when people who hold particular positions get so agitated and irritated when new people show up, or when they think someone else is going to be eventually placed in the position where they are serving. And the reason why it kind of bothers me is because they seem to have forgotten that at one time they were the new person. And what if no one had embraced them? What if no one thought that they were worthy or qualified to serve in a leadership capacity. Otis, you say, yes, Pastor, cross training is needed. Yes, as PKs, we were taught to do everything. Man, I'm telling you, God bless you. Let me shout out to the PKs. You know, I feel you, because that's exactly what I was. I was a P. I am a PK, you know. And so thank you for sharing that comment. That is so very true. And some of you may not understand that, his sentiments, what he just shared, if you're not a PK yourself. But the truth be told, most pastors' kids, that's what PK stands for, pastors' kids, we were required to do everything in the church. We weren't asked to do it. We were told to do it. All right. Uh, so that's it's so important, um, that um, we do cross train with one another, be able to work with one another. But again, when leaders that are in set positions feel threatened, that someone else is going to take their position, you know, that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's not a good thing. Rather, that's a bad thing, because um, they become unwilling to do whatever they can to help others coming along. One of the things that I told the leaders at Canaan Worship Center, I know some of them may have forgotten all about the fact that I've always made this suggestion. Anytime you're in a leadership position, always have someone that you're training or mentoring who will be capable of stepping into your spot. Um, One of the things you got to realize is that the minute you step in, the minute you take the reins of a position, you've just started your journey on your way out. Um, Next month, I will have been pastoring. I will have been pastoring Canaan for 32 years, and believe it or not, 32 years ago, I was on my way out, as I am now. No, don't get that twisted. Don't jump off here and go tell everybody, Pastor just said he's about to retire. That is not what I said. I said from the time that you come into a position, you are actually on your way out. Just like being born. From the time you come into the world, you started your journey toward going out. You know, now how long or short that time is going to be is yet to be determined or yet to be seen. But that's just a little word of wisdom for those of you that serve in leadership capacities, or if you ever come into the place where you are assigned to a leadership spot in an organization, that you keep in mind that you're not there. You're not placed there to be there forever. And so don't feel threatened even by the ideal of someone else possibly having to take your spot, because you know what? None of us know when we're going to leave here. You know, I'm talking about leaving life itself. And if you're holding so tight to a position and something happens to where suddenly you're gone, well, guess what? Somebody's going to step in there and take your place and keep the thing rolling, hopefully. Dora, let me throw your comment up. You say change is good and necessary. Absolutely. It is good and it is necessary. And the sooner rather we acknowledge that, the better off that we'll be, and the more comfortable that we will become with change. But again, as I'm receiving all this pushback from these leaders for making a change, things just start to seem to fall apart, and things seem to be shaping up as a total disaster. But myself and our team, we decided to see the process through. Why? Because if we hadn't made the changes then, we would have never been able to make the changes. And the ministry would have been held hostage to a few disgruntled, stuck, and rebellious people who were masquerading as leaders. That's what would have happened. Because anytime there would have been an attempt to make any changes, they would have just pulled the same stunt over and over and over again. And it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's a terrible thing when a leader allows themselves to be held hostage just by a few people within an organization. You're only giving consideration to a few people and not considering the entire group. That's not wise as a leader. At least that's what I've found to be the case. You can't just listen to a few voices, a minority of voices. And so we made the decision to move forward with the process to start to make the necessary changes to identify and to develop new leaders. Now, was it pretty, the process? No, it wasn't pretty, but it was necessary. It was absolutely necessary. And I can honestly say that I don't regret making the changes and making the moves that we had to make. That's an interesting statement, Toya. You say change can expose people. No, I'd go as far as to say change does expose people. Sometimes change exposes people to themselves. Hadn't thought about it that way, huh? Yeah, sometimes it exposes, and when I use the word or the phrase about with regards to change exposing people to themselves, with every experience in life, there's always the potential to have what I call, or we in the coaching industry call, a aha moment, a time of discovery, a time of self-awareness. And as you go through certain processes and certain changes are being made, you may discover something about yourself that you actually did not know. And that's a good thing. And it's really good when what you discover is a very positive thing, because once you start to discover some things about yourself, you begin to unlock some things within yourself. And the main thing that you unlock is potential. You unlock potential in yourself as you begin to go through changes and certain things become unmasked or uncovered or even now revealed to yourself. Now, revealed to yourself about yourself, I guess I should say. Now, what keeps most individuals, leaders, and organizations from shaking things up and making much needed changes is one word and one word only. And that word is fear. Now, I know there's a lot of several different acronyms used for fear, FEAR, but I came up with a couple of my own. And there's two in particular that I want to share with you tonight with regards to fear that I want you to consider or think about. Think about this. Fear, FEAR, frantic emotions acknowledged repeatedly. I'll give it to you again. FEAR, frantic emotions acknowledged repeatedly. And the other one I'd like to share with you tonight, FEAR, frivolous expressions activating retreat. You need it again? Okay, I'll give it to you again. Frivolous expressions activating retreat. One of the problems with fear, those frantic emotions that we acknowledge repeatedly, it keeps us stuck in a cycle. And some of us constantly confess that we fear certain things. You may not use that word exactly, the word fear, but you express your fear. You express that you're afraid of something. You're hesitant about it. You don't feel comfortable with it. Those are expressions really at the root of it is still fear. And then the frivolous expressions, you know, things that really shouldn't and they don't really matter. But these expressions come to you. And when these frivolous expressions come to you, they activate retreat. In other words, they make you recoil. They make you back up. You know you need to move forward. But these frivolous expressions, they activate the spirit of retreat in you. So instead of moving forward, you'll even start to back up because you are afraid of what you're facing. And again, we spend a lot of time acknowledging repeatedly these frantic emotions. If that makes sense to you, throw up a hand or something emoji. Let me know. Hey, that makes sense. Thank you, Angie. That's good stuff, Bishop. First class definition of the word fear. Okay. I had a older sister, a big sister that inspired me and influenced me in that way. Hint, hint. For those of y'all that don't know, Angela is my big sister, who was also a wonderful mentor to me as we were growing up. So that's another story for another time. But I've been greatly influenced by her. I don't even think she even knows the level of influence that she's had on her little brother, because that's what I am. I am her little brother. But just think about those. So okay, you all are throwing those hands up. You feel what I'm saying there. You know, does that make you look at fear totally different now? Because and I know there's been other acronyms that describe fear. You know, some people say it false evidence appearing real. You know, false, fraudulent. You can go a number of ways with it, but the whole point right now is that a lot of times we allow fear to paralyze us, and it keeps us from moving forward. It keeps us from making some of the much needed changes in our lives. So the problem, here's the problem with many of us when it comes to making much needed problems. The reason why some of us are so fearful, some of us are very hesitant, is because number one, you're uncertain about the outcome. Uncertainty will cause major concern and even trepidation. Okay. Another reason why you're fearful and hesitant and you won't make much needed changes is because you expect and even anticipate the worst. Oh, I just know this ain't gonna go right. I know if I try to do this, something bad is gonna happen. It's gonna fall apart. Nothing ever good happens to me. Nothing ever goes right for me. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. No, I'm not gonna try that. No, y'all can go ahead. Not me. Not me. I'm not trying to do all that. That's fear has you gripped. And you're always thinking and even anticipating the worst. Why does it have to be that way? I mean, you don't always have to fall flat on your face. You don't always have to believe or think that you're going to fall flat on your face. As a matter of fact, you would do well to tell yourself, self-talk is very important. Tell yourself that you're not going to fall flat on your face, that you got this, that you're a strong-willed person. You know, that's why they say Frozen with fear. Yeah. Anxiety, doubt, and worry set in. That's right. You get frozen. You get paralyzed. You can't move. And that's never a good thing. Because some of the fear and the anxiety, some of it that some of us carry, we manufacture it ourselves. It's not because you're actually facing any kind of threat or anything of that nature, but many times because of what you've experienced in your past and what you have allowed to dominate your thinking will keep you moving forward because you've got it in your mind that past experiences are indicative of future events. And that's not the case. That self-talk is important. It is a daily struggle, but you can get through the struggle when you learn to talk to yourself. I often have sessions of self-talk. Lady Ann said, yes, self-talk. That's right. It's very important. When I tell you all, when I talk to myself, I even call my name. I say, listen, Tony. Tony, you got to do this. You got to do that. Tony, come on, Tony. Let's pull this together. I do that. It may sound silly to some of you. But if you want to look at it from a biblical perspective, the Bible says that when David was in the worst throes of his life, David had to encourage himself. Sounds like self-talk to me. He had to encourage himself in the Lord his God. Yep. I like that, Tisha. Mind junk, as my career coach called it. Yeah, mind junk. Lady Ann says she does the same thing. Kind of runs in the family, I guess. Yeah, up in this house, we believe in talking to ourselves. Now, don't get it twisted. We talk to the Lord more than we talk to ourselves. Am I right, Lady Ann? It's about to pop up there in a minute. She gonna throw it up there and tell y'all that's right. That is right. That is so true. I'll tell you another thing that keeps people fearful and afraid and keeps them held back from accomplishing things and moving forward is when they've not gained the approval of other people. Can I ask you a question? Why is it that we feel like we just got to have the approval of other people? And you notice I've thrown myself in there because moment of transparency. Yeah. For many years, I felt as though that I needed the approval of other people to confirm whatever I'm thinking or doing, to give me the okay. Dr. Pat says she does self-talk as well. That's wonderful. Let's see here. Lachelle, moving forward requires change. Yes, it does. Terry Kazam says, I call my self-talk by my whole government name. Oh, you be really talking to yourself, because if you use your whole government name, you must be really in trouble with yourself when you do that. You know how your parents used to use your whole name when you was really in trouble? You knew when they use that whole name, man, you about to get it. Well, good point, Toya. There you go again. You throwing out some gems here. I think that's part of that self-doubt again. That's true. Yeah. If you're not saying the right things to yourself, then your self-talk could be destructive. Lachelle says, we really shouldn't, but I had the problem at that one. I had that problem at one time. There are many of us Many of us. I'm trying to get as many of your comments as I possibly can. Fear and anxiety are real, and we have to learn to channel them. God did not give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a sound mind. Amen. I'll say amen to that. Minister Vonda said, because we have not come to know who we are in Christ and that he has chose me and I've been accepted by him. Oh, that's something wonderful to discover, that you belong to him. That's one of the best affirmations through self-talk that you can ever engage in. Another reason why some of us don't move forward, we don't make the changes that we need to make, is because some of us just resist change. We just resist it for whatever reason. We resist change. And I don't know, is it that change is just too hard for some people? And then finally, one of the last reasons why some of us won't shake things up and make much needed changes in our lives is likely simply because you don't want anything better for yourself. Now, I know that might be hard for some people to believe or agree with, but that is a reality. Some people just don't want anything better for themselves. And they'll say without any hesitation, hey, I'm good. I'm good like I am. I don't need anything else, you know. But are you really good like you are? Whatever the case, you got to understand that fear is at the root of it all. Now, I'm getting ready to wrap this up, but I want you to be able to walk away from here with these final few thoughts in particular. First of all, the only way you can have what you've never had is you have to do what you've never done and go where you've never gone with a boldness like never before. You want something better, you want something different, you got to be bold in making your moves. Be very decisive. Do what you got to do. And the reality is you might just be surprised with the outcome of you shaking things up. You might discover a life that you thought you would never have simply by shaking things up, making some much needed changes. Now, here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. For the next 7 days, I want you to start canceling out every negative thought that ever comes into your mind by speaking positive to yourself about yourself, and remind yourself, even now convict yourself, that you need to shake some things up and make some changes, much needed changes. Now, if your response to that is that, well, that's going to be hard, good. That means that you definitely need to make the change. Anything that you really need and must do is not going to come easy. And think about this. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But you're not everybody. You're extraordinary. You're gifted. You're talented. You're unique. You're wise. You're smart. Yeah. Now, some of you're canceling out all of what I'm saying right now by saying, well, I don't know about that. Well, you need to start knowing about it. Okay? Start today. That's the first change you need to make. Free yourself from all that negativity, all those negative vibes, all those negative comments. Free yourself and start speaking the right thing into your life. And I guarantee you, it will make a difference. Now, look, y'all, don't go all giddy spiritual on me and say, well, that sounds like naming and claiming. Come on, y'all. Don't allow yourself to get caught up into that. No, we're not trying to label it anything like that. It is what it is. It's you talking to yourself and encouraging yourself to do what is best and beneficial for you, whatever that may look like. If you know you need to make some changes that will help your life to turn for the better, or that will allow you or help you or boost you or motivate you to do some things that you didn't think you'd be able to do, or some things that you thought you never would do. Change the way you used to do things and start speaking to yourself. And I guarantee you, it'll make all the difference in the world. Well, that's my time for tonight. I'm done. I stayed with you all a little longer than I intended to tonight, but that's okay. I did that because I love y'all. I love my Mocha crew. And y'all know what we do. This is really, no, since this has been a blessing to you, because I know it has. Come on. Not because I'm the one that shared it with you, because I can't take all the credit for it. You know, God gives me this wisdom when I'm sitting and thinking. It's like he allows these things to come to me. And I just, I'm able and I'm ready to share them with you once I come on here and be able to have a little time with you. I've said to you all on several occasions that I'm a thinker. I just sit and think. I sit and think. I sit in a special place. Most of the time it's early in the morning, but I just sit and think. And I truly believe during my sitting and thinking is when the Spirit of the Lord inspires me. Because I'm constantly asking the Lord, give me wisdom, give me wisdom. I desire wisdom more than anything. And as that wisdom is poured into me, I love being able to share it with someone else. Not to make me look good, but to add value. And there it is again, to add value to other people. Well, you all, again, I look forward to seeing you Canaanites this coming Sunday morning at 9 a.m. And we're going to be rocking with the young people. Please don't stay at home, y'all. Whatever you do, please don't stay at home. Please don't say that I'm just going to watch it from on live stream from home. No, please, please, please. I'm asking you, as humbly as I know how, please be in the house for our young people. I'm telling you, it's going to be a worship experience that you won't want to miss this coming Sunday. And you do want to be in the house. All right. God bless y'all. I'm going to jump off here and I'm about to run to where, not where I'm going to drive, but I'm going to get to where our young people are so I can have my time to hang out with them tonight. Lady Ann and myself, we love y'all. And we appreciate you all so much. With that being said, I'm going to say, as I always do, God bless and good night.